Hey folks, welcome back to another Big Chungus devlog. This is the fourth devlog. I'm just here to show you what's happened this week, what's changed. Mostly improvements to the cave, a couple improvements to particle effects, a couple improvements to enemies' movement. But otherwise, let's dive right on in. One change that's been implemented is enemies will now sort of bounce off anything they collide with. It'll kind of prevent them from getting stuck in corners like they used to. I mean, this one's kind of getting stuck in a corner, but there he goes. He gets out. He kind of hit the wall, bounced off, and basically all it does is reverse their direction and velocity, so they can kind of, avoid getting stuck in those little corners. Sometimes they still do, but there's no pathfinding right now, so it is just a better all-around system, but still needs improvement. So much of this week's development has gone into improving the cave. I showed you that last week, basically the general overview of the cave. It had some pretty simple blocks, nothing special, no entities, no bad guys, no critters, no nothing really. I've since added stalagmites. You've got these little pots that you can kind of smash. Nothing in them yet, but it's just something that's been added. I got mushrooms. These are the string mushrooms that are going to be used for, maybe like a strength bonus potion or something like that. The other thing I've added here is bones that you can pick up. So the idea is that maybe there's a set of armor, bone armor, or you can use the bones for crafting something. Well, we haven't really quite added those recipes yet, but they'll get there. The mushrooms, again, you can pick them up. There's stalagmites, the floor tiles and the back tiles are a little they need work. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too happy with them. They look like crap. As you can see, without the lighting, there's also copper and iron deposits throughout. The stalagmites are a little bit more prevalent in the watery areas because, the water, there are bats. I was going to get to that, but they do fly around and kind of bounce off walls. They're pretty fast. They're really kind of annoying. They kind of fly around you. And then there's also rats. You can see one walking around there. He's just a critter, kind of runs around and just does rat things in a cave, right? The other thing I should mention is that each cave is kind of a varying size. I've sort of limited it. So this one is relatively small, but if we go to another cave, which we can find down here, you'll see the difference between this one's a much bigger cave. Obviously, I haven't really explored the whole thing, but I got a lot going on with these caves now. Still need to add more, but they're coming along. So one problem that might arise is the way I've done the torches right now. Each one kind of generates consistently these little color-changing particles. And I've noticed that if you're in the cave and it's completely dark and you got to put down a whole bunch of torches, the frame rate starts to go down a little bit. I mean, I'm still getting well over 100 FPS on my 3700X here, which is a couple generations old. So maybe it's not such an issue. But if you're playing on maybe an old slow laptop or something like that, it might be an issue, especially once you get like a couple dozen torches going. But ultimately, if you just really go ham on the torches, you can get a decent bit of torches, and your frame rate won't lag too much, but it definitely slows down. I might have to end up changing the torches from particle generation to like just an animated image transition kind of thing, which won't look as cool, but the performance will be way better. That is one concern of mine, but haven't crossed that road yet. I am really happy with these the bones, how they turned out, especially, and the mushrooms. Pretty satisfied with them. The stalagmites are also pretty cool. They might need a little bit more variety. They seem to kind of repeat themselves a little bit here and there, but the bones I am especially happy with. With a little help from some people on Discord, came up with a good function that basically boils down an entity into what colors are inside of it. So it just gets the color palette of a given surface and returns that. I'll put that on the screen here shortly. But what it does, I've used it to basically make it so that every time you hit an item, the particles that come off of it are colored correctly to whatever you hit. So if you come over here and you hit the iron node, you get the iron colors. If you come over here, you hit the copper, you get the copper colors. And the stone obviously is stone colored. So that pretty much will work with whatever. It'll work with trees. It'll work with the rocks. Pretty much anything is now properly colored. So that's I think it looks a lot better as far as the particles that come off these things, instead of hard coding them or just doing it manually, whatever. It just does it automatically now, which is great. So that's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed the changes. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Feel free to ask questions. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. So have a good week. Until next time.